Hey everyone, I'm Shadab Sefi and I'm going to start this series for React developers. So if you are a beginner or you are expert, you can follow this series. And in this series, basically, I'm gonna create a lot of components and then I'll create couple of, derived components where the components will be used and then we'll create couple of templates. So we'll start with this uh, white. So don't worry about anything if you have all the understanding of React or not, or if you are just a beginner. What I'll do, I'll start from very basic and then I will move towards advanced development. So initially I'll use couple of libraries, but I'll definitely tell you how to use and what are the use of those libraries. Let's suppose we have Tailwind CSS. So in the development, you all know about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. These are the three basic blocks for web development, I can say. So HTML is for the structure, the overall structure of your web page, and CSS we use it for the styling, and then JS for the functionality of your front end. But if we move little ahead from these things and we come to the modern development, then we have couple of frameworks where we don't need directly to use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We can basically utilize those frameworks and then we can create our application and whatever we want to build. So we'll start from very basic, like how to install React and then how to create a React project. And while using any of these libraries, I'll start talking about that, and then we'll give you the brief information about it. And eventually we're gonna use those libraries like Tailwind CSS we have, and Vite for now. But let's see how it goes, and then uh, we'll keep learning these things. So I'm gonna start with Vite. So Vite is I can say a build tool. Let's suppose we want to create a React website, then we have to connect the front end and JS and other things, but Vite provide everything in the framework itself, so it's good. You don't have to learn it. It's just about running couple of commands and then start using this project. So let's get started, and we'll definitely try to learn more about it, how to use it and all. So if I go to get started in the Vite, we have a command. This I'll use this npm command with template. So there are a couple of templates in this Vite. So we're gonna use React with TypeScript. So I have this uh, folder YouTube. Let's see where it is. CD YouTube. Okay, so I'm gonna run this particular command. So if you don't have Node installed, I'll recommend go to nodejs.org. So here you can download the version. LTS version is good, so you can install the LTS version, and then you can run this particular command. So yeah, let's run it. So for template, I'm gonna use this React TS because we are not using JavaScript, we are using TypeScript. TypeScript is the latest version for JavaScript, I can say, where we have to define types. So in JavaScript, as you all know, that we don't have any types in the variables. Like if I say var equals to X, or any string or a number, so I can reinitialize it with a different type. Like I can say X equals to 0, so it won't throw any error. But in TypeScript it will throw an error on the compile time, so it's good. We can catch couple of we can catch a lot of. So I'm going to explain this command a little bit so you can understand it better. So first we have uh, this npm create Vite at the rate latest. It means we're gonna use this Vite with the latest version, and the other is just my view app. So I'm gonna name it differently. So we'll say React comp lib or something, and then we have this template with React TS. So it's saying that White gonna use React TypeScript to create a boilerplate for us. So boilerplate is a complete directory structure where we have CSS and TypeScript files. So it gives us everything to start a project. So let's do it. So it's saying we okay if we want to proceed. Yes. Great. So we created it. Let's move to the folder and let's say npm install. So npm install basically install all the packages which are required to run this particular project. So I'll say npm installed. For now, you can just follow the commands, and once you have little more understanding, then you will be able to understand it more. So for now, we'll just go with the commands and let's see how it goes. Okay, npm run dev. Okay, so it started. So let's see how it looks. Great. So we have created a project with Vite and React. You can see if I can click on this particular button, it's showing me some counter, like how many times I clicked on it. Okay, so let's have a look at the product structure, what we got while running this particular command. So this was it for White. We don't have to learn more about it for now, but yeah, we'll talk about it later. So here we have this particular project where we have couple of text and then a button and again a text. So it's saying added source app.tsx and save to test. So I'm gonna go to source and we have app.tsx. So if I change it, if I say h1 hello coders, okay, I'll just make it little big. So you'll see hello coders here. It's fast, you don't have to refresh it. So once you change any of the file, it will refresh the project by itself. So this was the very first thing what we have in this. So let's try to understand the structure a little bit, and then we'll move ahead and we'll start creating a small component for today, and then we'll see how it goes. So we have couple of files here. You don't have to worry about it for now, but yeah, we have index.html where you already know about the HTML file. It holds the complete document where we have different sections like head, body, and footer, and something like this. So here in head, we can change our title. So we'll say it React component library. Okay, and once I change it, it will be reflected here in this document itself. So yeah, and we have this source folder where the actual code exists. So in this source folder, everything would be there like assets, CSS, and then TypeScript and other CSS files. So I'll remove everything for now except this. Maybe I'll keep this font thing here, but I'll remove everything. And even from the app.css, I'll remove everything. So now it's a plain project where we can start and write our things. So I'll say this, and now you can clearly see there are no background colors, there are no stylings. We just have an h1 uh, in our document. Okay, so let's talk a little about React. So basically, React provide fast rendering, a virtual DOM concepts. There are a lot of things that you can learn theoretically from the reactjs.org website. But here we'll be doing more practical thing, like how to use the hooks, how to create components, how to uh, create let's suppose more pages and then navigate to those pages. So I'll start. We have this app.tsx. So I'll say just create a div and another div, and I'll create an h1 where I'll see all components. So what we will be doing, we'll create a component, we'll use it here in this particular page. So now you can see we have all components, and let's create a couple of folders. So if I talk about this structure, what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a base folder where we'll have all the base components, and then we'll create another folder called derived where we'll be having components but derived from the base components. So for example, if we have a button, I'll give you example from this. Yeah, so this is a kind of small component library. So you can see we have a couple of things. The UI is the exact same, so that's the reason creating a component library, because the UI would be consistent. The things like any component would be consistent across the application. So you can see there is a button. Let's suppose this Epson button. So it is same as other dollar button, but the color is changed, right? So you can say this is a base component, or if we just consider it a single component, and this can be derived component where we have different color, and then the other component, let's say this could be the like lorem ipsum and dollar. This could be another template, I can say, where we have these three buttons and one drive button. If I say drive button, so let's see, and let's create a folder under this. I'll say base component, and then I'll create another folder uh, which would be derived components. uh, Components. Okay, so in the base component we'll create very basic components, and using those basic components we'll be creating derived components, and then we'll create some templates. So I can see templates. So here we'll be creating templates. So let's go to base component and create a file called button.tsx. So TSX, basically generally we create HTML with .html extension, but here we are creating a TypeScript file. So it will compile this particular code and convert it to the HTML, JS and CSS. So let's say export default button, and then this export. Okay, I'll say const button equals to this, and then we'll export it. Export default button and return button with the name. So I'm creating some props. So props is just like let's suppose we have a function called sum. So for to sum two numbers, we have to provide props to that particular function like a and b. So similarly, we have to provide if we want to pass something to this particular component, we have to provide it here. I'll say name, and since this is a TypeScript, so we have to define the type as well. Name equals to name as string, and I'll just change this name to name. So this is very basic React code, I can say. It's a very basic React component, and let's try to use it. Okay, so under h1 I'm gonna create another h2 where I say buttons, and then a div, or maybe I can create a div or section here, and then in this section we'll have this h2 and a div where we'll be using those components. So you see I'm using this. So I have used this particular component from this particular code, and now I pass the name attribute to it, or let's change it to the title, right? So I'll change it to the title. So button with title button, or I say click here. So if we do this, we can see we have this button here. So now we don't have to create the entire thing again and again. What we can do, we can just use this particular button many times and they all would be same. And let's try to add some styling. So I'll say style and background color as blue. Okay, so for this particular component I provided background color as blue. So let's see how it looks. So you see every button have blue background because we have created a component and we use it multiple times, but the UI would be same. So that's the whole purpose of creating component library and component. So as you saw here, there are a lot of components and they use it many times, but the UI is same every time we use it. So UI would be consistent and then you can use it many times. Okay, so that's it for today, and you can just watch this particular video. If you need many times, then you can watch it and try to create this particular project. I'm gonna post multiple videos. There's a whole series of creating component library. So just uh, just comment if you have if if you have any problem installing this particular thing, or creating this particular project till now. So we'll be creating more components and we'll be using it, and from next video, uh, like next video will hold things like tailwind, installing tailwind css, and without using this type of style, how we can create a particular theme where we'll be defining couple of styles and couple of colors. So all right, I think that's it for today, and thank you for watching.